Yeah,
Your comments about discharge makes me think of the work that we did in Christy and I in City, Kawartha Lakes, and
you're
how
right.
many of those emergency room records I looked at, and we knew that every person we were looking at was living homeless at the time, and
That's
how many
wild, right?
nurses or doctors wrote discharged home on the
Right.
record.
Oh,
Discharged
that's
home,
really
and it's like,
interesting.
are you kidding me? Like, yeah, yeah. So that idea of not even looking at that status piece, and people would give an address because
Hmm.
they're asked, and could be the last one they had 6 months ago or something, and then discharged home.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
real,
And I think sometimes too, there's just because of some of this integration issues, the hospital might not even know sort of like what to do or who to call. And so like the number they have is for an emergency shelter because
yeah,
that's sort of been the number they've been given and that's what they've been told to do. And so they do that. And I think it also sort of goes back to this old model for how we thought about how to deal with homelessness. And I think like, in a perfect world, it can make sense. It just doesn't line up with reality. I think we have this idea that if someone experienced homelessness, they'd go to an emergency shelter or something like that, get all the supports they need, and then they would be kind of, moved on. They could then sort of move on to the next phase of their life. But we sort of know now that sending someone to a shelter is not going to really do a lot for them necessarily. Some people have, can, certainly it's possible, but for a lot of people, it just ends up being such a trap and they get stuck there. And then time passes and things accumulate and then it just becomes nearly impossible.
uh-huh,
So,
uh-huh,
yeah,
uh-huh,
yeah.
sure.